Hi guys, get ready for it. This is a beautiful day, 70 degrees. And I said to Reg, I want to get the pond uncovered and turn it on. So let's get this thing turned on. I took a little bit of time to make certain that the leaves are not, I cover it so that the maple leaves stay out of the pond. And I just flip this into itself. Every year, reusing the same netting, and I'll leave this out in the sun today since it's nice and sunny, and we will be able to turn our pond on, hopefully. Oops, I've got a rock locked in there.
Making a little mess there, honey.
I made a mess. I'll have to fool with that after. Be careful moving. Let's see what happens when I plug it in. Here's the sound I love when I'm down in my gardens. We live on the river. You have to have, I think, the sound of running water. So then the rest of the day, I'm just so glad it started too. I usually let the leaves that have fallen from the Japanese maple just compost into the Pachysandra to keep that soil nice and rich. Something I will be doing this week too is looking at the at that maple tree to see how I need to trim it back, if at all. Let's get this untangled while I'm thinking of it. Maybe. There we go.
Yeah, it makes for interesting video there, honey.
It does, I'm sure. Anyhow, project number 1 is done. We'll set this out here and it'll dry, and I'll finish raking that up. The other thing I'm doing today, I'm cutting off the sedum autumn joy heads, Reg.
Well, I want you to save those.
I know. There's so many. We have 3.
Yeah, I don't need a whole
clumps.
bunch. Maybe just one plant.
Yeah, but when you cut these back, if you can zoom in here, Reg, what you're going to do, you can see now how it's starting to show signs of growth. So it's time to start cutting these things off and getting them away from the new plants.
Did you leave them in winter for the birds? Or?
Yeah, for whoever needed some seed heads. Yeah, and for winter interest, because these hold up so nice with a little snow on them, even though we didn't have that much snow. But
well, we're not over. Yeah, I mean,
it's not over. I know. We've seen snows in March, April, and May. And so I do end up putting all this on my compost, except for the ones, of course, Reg, he wants some seed heads for all of his great projects. And this is how easy it is. You get in there and you cut those off. It's going to look so nice.
Looks like another haircut again, honey. Yeah,
It is that time of year when you're cutting things, where you're cutting things off. And
that's a big clump right there, isn't it?
Yeah. Makes everybody happy to get this stuff on a pretty day like today.
I'm telling you, I think it's quite warm today.
Yeah. Just to get to 77 degrees. And we're in Zone 6, West Virginia. And it's definitely been a Zone 6 outside of those 2 Arctic blasts, one at Christmas and one just a couple of weeks ago, the 1st of February, when it got down to 9 degrees with a little bit of wind. But look how much nicer. It's going to make the daffodils look prettier that are popping up back in there. Would you look at that? All right. Oh, now I could, you can see where I've got a plant on the end of this little stick. You could take that and put it in the soil somewhere and it would start a whole new plant. I'll probably just put it right back where I got it from. That's how easy these sedums are. All right.
So I'm an idiot on some of this stuff, but all that little green that we see there, that's all sedum.
That's all the new sedum. Perennials, they come back.
Well,
That's why I like
I know what. I know
you
what
know, but
that
this
is,
is all,
but
yeah.
that's quite a lot of growth there, isn't there?
It is. So I'm going to stick that right back in there and hope that it just does fine. All right. One down and everything else will be the same. I will do the same to all these sedums and clean up the leaves a little bit. I always leave my autumn ferns a little longer until I start seeing some new growth come out of the crown of the autumn ferns. I still like how green they look. They manage very well. The other thing we're doing today, besides cutting off sedums, and you can see everything's growing inside of these, and it's just repeat. Let me grab my kneeler because I'm cutting off grasses today too.
While you're doing that, we'll just show Midge in the garden.
But all of these sedums are going to get their heads cut off, and the biggest job, and sometimes I prefer to tackle the hardest job first, and this is going to be the hardest, but today I'm going to save it to last. I'm just basically going to come in here. I've got it tied up. I'm hoping that I'll be able just to lift all this off with one big clump. What do you think?
Good luck.
But I've got my hedge trimmers, which I had sharpened earlier this winter. And I'm getting in here. So we're getting in here, loosening all this up.
That's going to be a job.
It is a job. But it has to be done.
Oh, I understand that, but wow.
All right, so you can see I've gone in there. Because you want to be able to get this cleared off as close to the ground as you can so that when the grasses start through, they have a nice clear path to make their way up.
All right.
So I'm going to keep...
Yeah, it seems like you got your work cut out for you there.
I
girl.
do. I'm just going to keep, every time I cut some, I'm going to keep wrapping it against itself. And I think I've come up with a fantastic idea.
All right.
So I'm going to keep cutting and we'll come back when it's all done. It worked. Reggie went up to the house, got a drink of water. I said, go off camera. I don't know how long it's going to take me. But my plan of tying the grasses and then cutting from the base, rolling into each other, it worked. I rolled it into each other and it's all one big pile. So handy. All I got to do is trim it up into small pieces. Pieces will go on the compost. The hardest job became the simplest. I'm going to use that every year from now on. So easy, and it looks so much cleaner. So the last thing I'm going to, and you can see the daffodils better. I even have a primrose blooming. Yeah, I know. We've all got spring fever and we still have a month till spring or 3 weeks till spring, but thanks for watching. The next time I'll probably be trimming either my roses, depending on the weather, or work on that little maple tree a little bit, the Japanese maple over the pond. I love hearing that. Thanks for being with me today. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.